little bit closer look at decoding. We've kind of gone over this already. So delayed responses. Sometimes it'll be such a delay that it almost looks to me like I'm talking to a foreign correspondent in like Iraq maybe. It's just, oh, and then a response. It's not a bad thing. This person is taking their time, they're digesting the information, they're really working on what it was that I asked them in order to respond. They'll have, sometimes you can see kind of more muddled speech because they're not seeing each sound as its own unit. It's just all this like kind of a clumped word, you know? I'm sure maybe that brings to mind someone possibly for you. So then they'll also have some issues like, I've heard Valentine's Day so often that I almost have to remind myself. Do you have that same problem? Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, which really makes me look credible. I'll tell you what. So the best tip that I can give for all of you, slow down. Just like we were saying earlier, where if you make it just a little bit longer, if the sounds are a half a second long, they're gonna have 90% accuracy. But if you're speaking a little bit faster, even just like this, there it goes. You can't quite follow what's going on. So in order to remediate decoding issues, we start over with the sounds of English speech. Okay? And we're slowly and systematically retraining the sounds that we found that were difficult on their test. NMRA. All right, so basically what we see with TFM is we see a lot of different issues based on not being able to remember all the trees they pass. Being able to follow directions is particularly difficult. And the best tip I can give you is remove that statement. I'm only going to tell you this once. That creates a feeling of anxiety and a feeling that they're just really not going to be able to do it correctly. Most kids are people pleasers, believe it or not, and if we give them the tools to be able to remember what we told them, they will perform more accurately, which will make both of you happier. For remediation, we work on words and noise training and short-term memory, auditory memory activities. Something as simple as numbers. That was the muddled speech I was talking about, in case anybody needed an example of that. This is as simple as working with numbers. You can be driving along in the car. Start working with your kiddo. Say, okay, I'm going to say 3 numbers to you. Say them back. As simple as that. Audiologists, there are some speech pathologists in this room, and you use much more sophisticated top-down approaches. We're pretty quick and dirty. We like the bottom up. So, anyway, a little speech essential. All right, then a closer look at organization. Like I said, it's disorganization from the very root of things. Best tip, counting off steps and directions. Slow down and say, first, I need you to go get your coat. Then, because they're going to want to run away and grab that coat because they've got the tolerance fading memory issues sometimes going on. They need to go get that coat before they forget what's going on. But if you can try to create an idea of the organization, the sequence of things, you'll start to see them being able to comply easier. All right, then integration issues. I told this to some of you yesterday. People with integration issues can have a pretty severe form of auditory processing disorder. Adults who have integration difficulties may live in the same small town for their whole lives and still get lost. And their GPS will tell them to make a legal U-turn. Oh, sorry. No, that was just me yesterday. It's okay. Anyway, but the best tip is to show the child concrete examples before you launch into the abstract. These kids need a really good idea, a really tangible idea of what is going on before you introduce something that doesn't connect to it at all, or connect to their lives at